you are sending in between now and next week, Tuesday. That's your business model canvas and your value proposition canvas. So should be sending your drafts of those two things, whether you want to email it via document, take a picture because you drew it out on paper. Um, you just should be sending those in. This won't be graded or anything. It's really just so we see where you ended up at this course. For fundamentals and especially going into advanced, we will be picking up from where we left off here and going into the full scale business plan. And at the end of tonight, we do have a survey and an assessment. So please, just keep that in mind. We have the assessment and survey later. All right. Kiana, I hand it off to you.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for showing up on this a little chilly Thursday evening. My name is Kiana Walbrook, and I am one of the facilitators for this program. I'm really excited because a lot of my career has been made and has grown as it relates to public speaking. And today we're going to just be learning all that we need to know in terms of a foundation so that when you go out and you pitch your ideas and your business plans and you are networking, that you can always remember something that you may have learned from this S.O.A.R program, from this particular topic. And we're going to be learning by doing. We'll learn a few concepts, but a lot of it is that we're going to engage, have fun, and hopefully by the end of this segment, you'll begin to create things that's going to help you with your pitch next week. Let's, okay, get it going. I have a lot. View. Oh, okay, there we go. All right. So let's get started. So our goals and objectives for this particular section is so that you can learn the fundamentals of pitching your business and how to create 1-minute pitches that, again, you never know how long it's going to take you or what situation you're going to come up against. We want to make sure that you have certain things in mind that could help you promote your business and your ideas. This is also a skill that you can take with you throughout high school, as you get into college and begin to think about where you want to go. Using public speaking can always be helpful. We are going to practice together, and we're also going to feedback from one another. So we're going to start out with a quick icebreaker called baggage check. Then we're going to learn some tips around public speaking. We're going to do a quick activity where we're going to learn how to sell items that are pretty difficult to sell. But if you can do that, it'll actually give you what you need when you think about creating your pitch for your businesses. And then each person is going to, I guess, present their 1-minute pitch, and we're going to provide some helpful feedback in the end. Okay, so like any trip, I love a good trip. You know, S.O.A.R is all about travel. Sometimes we pack more than we need, right? So when we think about the baggage check, there are things about public speaking that we probably have a little fear around or a challenge with. We don't want to pack that with us, but sometimes we need to check the bag and then keep what works and get rid of what doesn't. So, if all of us can provide maybe one thing that they're fearful about when it comes to public speaking, and if it's not a fear, It could be something that you're currently working on or something that you want to fix or do when it comes to public speaking. So who would like to go first?
I can go first.
Awesome. Is this Megan?
Yes.
Hi, Megan. So what's
Hello.
one fear, what's something about public speaking that kind of gets to you?
So I have actually been in a so I'm actually I just well, not just, I completed 1 year of college already. And in college I actually did take a public speaking class.
Hmm.
Um and I think one thing that I still have trouble doing, but I kind of fixed it, is I have a stutter, and I also have problems like speaking on the fly, I guess you could say, like just coming out of my head. Like I have like just right now, I have problems speaking when I don't write things down.
Okay. So it sounds like when you have more time and more structure or you have a plan, you feel the most confident because you know exactly what to do and you've already planned for it, but it's that putting you on the spot that can kind of get you going.
Mhm.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Aurora or
Yeah,
Aura? Did I say it
Aurora.
right? Aurora?
Aurora.
Okay.
Yes. Um. Just like Megan was saying, I'm also in a public speaking class, but I'm in one currently, and one of the things that I get it's like hard for me is like maintaining eye contact with an audience. Like for example, we did a speech in my class, and like we all had to do a speech, and one of the things that we had to do was like make sure that we were looking at the class. And I found that it was hard for me because it gets like, I guess my nerves get like more like it feels like everybody's watching me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. So it's that too much attention can kind of throw you off your game in terms of what you wanted to say or do, or it can be awkward just having to look at people for a certain amount of time. That makes sense. Anyone else want to share a public speaking challenge or fear that they have? Excel? I'm pretty sure that's not you. Is that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Um, I just hate, not like hate speak. I don't like speaking in general. Like I feel like it takes a lot to go in front of like a bunch of people and speak, and I start like shaking a lot. Like I have really bad stage fright, so I feel like I have to overcome that because I don't like speaking like in front of people.
well, fun fact, more they surveyed people and they say about more people have less of a fear of dying than they do public speaking. So more people would rather die than do public speaking. So understand that it's something that a lot of people struggle with. It doesn't mean that you have to get on stage. Some people just have real fears around speaking out loud and having all the attention on them. And it's something that is very common, and a lot of people have to work through public speaking. So I love that some of you are taking classes around public speaking because it can only benefit you. When you think about just life and every day, we speak all the time, whether we know it or not, whether it's through nonverbal communication or regular communication. We're always speaking. So the more that we can get trained around being more structured around what we want to say, have an actual purpose and get through it, it probably will take off some of the anxiety and some of the fear that we have around speaking in public spaces. Anyone else before we move on? So another common one is that a lot of people tend to say and, or they might smack their lips. So those are just different tics people might have because of their nerves or because their brain is trying to catch up to what they want to say or vice versa. Some people just have immediate fright, like as soon as they know what they want to say, but now that it's time to say it, it's like that fright comes and they shut down. Or this idea, I've had people say that a fear is that they go up there or they talk about something and they mess up. Maybe they didn't say a word right or a person's name right, or they got jumbled in their words, or they forgot something. Some people don't like to public speak because they don't want to mess up. So that fear of making a mistake outweighs the actual action of it all. So I'm here to say, so what, now what? What happened? Maybe you tripped going up the stage, or your microphone didn't work, or something really embarrassing happened. Okay, it happened. So what? Right? So sometimes in our head, we make things way worse than what it is. Has anyone ever thought about all the things that could go wrong, and when you actually did something, nothing went wrong and it was fine? And you thought to yourself, why did I stress out about that so much? Like, it worked out, it's fine. Think about public speaking that way as well. Sometimes calling ourselves public speakers is too much pressure. How about we say, hey, I'm working on speaking in public, not being a public speaker, right? So take off some of that edge, take off some of that pressure that you might be bringing to yourself that you don't have to. You know, we all make mistakes. I've tripped on stage, I've done performances, I've done trainings and forgot a segment, or I mixed up the formation of my presentation. Let's see. I've walked into spaces and my PowerPoint just did not work. Or I thought I was going to do a public speaking gig in one place. And when I got there, they were like, we don't even have a room. You're going to be in the hallway. So again, things are going to happen. Sometimes you might drop the ball. Sometimes you might make a mistake. You might fall. You might stutter. You might use a verbal filler. You might forget someone's name. You might forget content. You may find that there's way too many people that showed up than you expected, and now the sheer volume of people makes you nervous. So what? You'll be okay. You know, the real thing that you need to ask yourself is, now what? Do I give up? Do I not do this I guess pitch? Do I not pour into myself a little bit more just because everything didn't work out according to plan? So next week, you have to do your pitches around your program or around what you've learned so far. So what if you make a mistake? Don't let that stop you from finishing out your pitch. You might have to do it one more time, you know? So we're human beings, things happen. You got to forgive yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Just keep going. When I tripped on the cord, there was like 60 people in the room. And I had a feeling that I was going to trip over the cord. You ever saw something, you was like, yeah, that looks like it's going to be a little dangerous. I'm a little accident prone. I'm very tall. I knew it, but I did not move the cord because it connected to the, what is it? The projector screen. And what happened in the middle of talking, I was walking backwards and my heel got caught on the wire and I tripped in front of everyone. I just made it work. Was I embarrassed? Absolutely. But was that going to stop the show? No. I was getting paid to do a workshop, and it didn't matter that I was embarrassed. I still had a job to do. And I also knew that after everyone finished laughing, because I would have laughed too if I was sitting there and I watched it happen, I thought to myself, okay, does that make my presentation bad? Or will they always remember me because I'm the person that tripped and they still had a good time and they still loved the workshop, right? So sometimes you just have to go through it and then see where you land. The whole point is now what, right? So now what? Know what you're getting into. I think the biggest piece to any public speaking, when you think about the foundations, is that you need to know what you're getting into. So are you there to inform people, persuade people, or are you there to entertain them? The only time that we use entertain is like if you want to go into comedy or maybe you're doing acting. But when you really think about public speaking, you can use humor, but you want to do it wisely. You also want to research your audience. So if you have a specific business or you're doing a pitch in front of people and you actually know about it, know who's going to be there. What are there? Do some research. Maybe go on their LinkedIn account and you try to see, what do they post? What do they care about? And what about my business or my idea? Can I find a connection so that it can win them over or get them to have more buy-in, right? You also want to learn to love the logistics. Where are you speaking about your business? Is it at a school? Is it in an auditorium? Is it at an office? Is it over Zoom? Is it outdoors? The reason why I say that is because for each one of those environments, you have to show up differently. On a Zoom, you have to be very careful about lighting. You have to be careful about what's in your background. Be intentional, right? So if you're doing a business pitch, you want to be as professional as possible. Canva has a free account. If you look at my screen, I created that Zoom. I created that background. It also has my logo of my business right on this side. And it's a great way that whether you're at home, in a store, outside on the street, if you have noise canceling headphones, you can still be professional and get your pitch done, right? If you're in a space and people's views are blocked, I've done trainings in places where there's a huge column in the middle. You may want to walk around. Just make sure that you're connecting with the audience. Do you need audio visual equipment set up? If so, test it out way before, not right before. If you're doing a pitch, test it out. How do you sound? What's the volume? What is your audio? If you're going to do a pitch somewhere, call them up. Ask them, do you have AV? Do you have a screen? Do you have a TV? Am I going to be able to show a PowerPoint or pictures? Depending on what your presentation entails, you want to make sure that you're asking the right questions. Also, you want to be memorable. People remember things, right? I went to a workshop and one woman said, what color do most people wear at events when we go out? What's the thing for people to wear? What color? Or maybe it's just a New York thing. What's the color that people tend to wear?
Black.
People tend to wear black. And what's the reason why? Was it Layla? Did you say black? Or was it XL? I'm sorry.
It was me, Layla.
Oh, okay. Why might somebody wear black?
Black goes with everything, so.
Okay. Yeah, so you can't go wrong with black, right? Black is a staple. So the lady in the training said, but black is unforgettable because everyone wears it. So when we're thinking about doing a pitch or we're thinking about going out and standing out or being memorable, it's not only about your pitch, but it's also what you're wearing. So for some people, wearing a bright color or an uncommon color can also be the one thing that people remember about you. So here I have Martin Luther King Jr. I also have Inyala Vanzant, and I have Steve Jobs. To me, these are three very memorable people in public speaking, which is something that I've made a career out of. I think that these three individuals do public speaking very differently, but it's very memorable. If you had to think about a person that for you really stands out, who might that be and why? So who's someone that's memorable to you in terms of their demeanor? They can be famous, they don't have to be famous, but who is memorable?
I feel like a lot of artists often like wear more colorful or like outgoing clothing to obviously like you were saying to be memorable, but also to like make like their shows and like how they present themselves like, oh, I'm famous, this and that. But not only famous people do that, but people who just like to be seen or like their voices to be heard more rather than just be like, oh, I'm wearing this whatever color, like to be more unique to
Yeah,
themselves, I guess.
no, absolutely. And also, so what I'm also hearing is that presentation matters, right? So it's not just about the colors, but it might be about the set that they perform on. It might be about the launch. So let's say someone's launching a t-shirt company, or someone is doing, I don't know, a makeup artist beauty company. How they present their business, it might be that they're learning how to make, really good Canva post, or maybe they're putting music behind some of their pictures, or they're just really artistic. Some people will say, like for me, I had a dream. Why do you think that's memorable? Why, out of all the speeches, do you think that's a memorable speech? What about the speech helps you to remember? Or what do we remember about that speech? We have a very quiet group today.
The repetition in his speech, like him repeating the same thing but also having different topics after it.
Absolutely. So I have a dream. I have a dream. If you didn't remember anything else from that speech, you knew I have a dream. So the idea of repetition helps you to remember what someone has said. So I love that. Thank you, Aurora. So it's not only presentation, it's also the word choice that we use. So as we're thinking about our pitch, I want you to think about your word choices. For some people, it might be a slogan. For others, it just might be, how they speak. Or some people are melodic, right? When they speak. So it sounds like a melody, or they're really good at picking rhyming words because they know it's catchy, or they might have a catchy beat. So that's why people love commercials. That's why people like little jingles. That's why people are getting used to these 1 minute reels. It's training our brains to just be very clear and focused for 1 minute. So if you really think about it, it's so important that we think about how can we be memorable in our pitches, because we only get 1 minute in this world lately to really make an impact. When you look at a reel on Instagram or Facebook, or you are looking at a Snapchat, that's how much time you have to catch someone's attention. So just thinking about that. And last but not least, you want to practice, practice, practice. So you want to tape, record yourself, practice in front of a mirror, practice in front of props or visual aids. You also might want to use a timer. If you're only given a minute or 2 minutes to do a pitch, the worst thing that you could do is prepare a 3-minute pitch, knowing good and well that you can only get 1 minute of their time. So be mindful of that. So if you're preparing for your pitches next week, think about how much time you're going to be given to do your pitch and try to come within that time frame and not hope that they're going to give you more time, because in real life scenarios, they don't make adjustments on time because they want to make sure that everyone else gets a chance as well. You also want to rehearse in front of a mirror, rehearse more than once. Try not for your first time to do the pitch to happen next week, right before you have to do the pitch. You should be working on it here. We're going to have time, and also on your own, and you have a good week to do that. And last but not least, look at public speaking as a form of a performance. So for those of you who talked about not being able to give, eye contact, it gets weird a little bit, or getting scared easily, you might want to think about, what's an alter ego I can have? Who's, what character can I play? And you really can utilize that moment where you have to speak in public almost like a task, as if you were an actor or actress. You want to make eye contact, but there's different ways that I can look like I'm looking at you, but I don't have to really be looking at you. So if you follow the light, let's say you're on a stage and there's like 100 people in front of you, that could be intimidating. But if you can look right down the aisle and spot one person in the back or an object in the back and low, more people are going to think that you're looking at them, when in fact you're looking at an object. So whatever you need to do, or find a smiling face in the room and focus on that person. And I always say that, and if all else fails, find the one smiley person in the room. Also, think about your verbal fillers, the like, no, well, all of those things play a big part in distraction, and it can take away from your content. So before we get into our quick activity, I just want to quickly go over what a pitch could sound like. Most times you need to make sure that you are talking about and that people know what is the name of the product and the company that you're selling, right? Let us know what it is that you're selling. So give descriptive words, right? So you want to use descriptive words to show people, or at least verbally give them an idea of what they're seeing or what they're buying. And let's say if a person did not have the ability to have sight, how would you describe your product or your idea to this person? And if a person that can't see can see your vision, then you've done a job, right? Is there a cost to it? And when I say cost, what would you like the audience? Is it that you're asking them to buy something, or you're asking them to donate something? Depending on your business and from business to business, what you're asking your audience is going to look different. And how can we keep in contact, right? Tell people how to utilize your business. Do you have to book an appointment? Do you have to sell if you're selling a product, where do I buy it? If you are providing a service, how do I get in touch with you? What is the actual service? How much time do I get? What's in it for me as a customer? Make sure that you don't leave any stone unturned with that. Make sure you're answering those questions. So now we're going to do a quick 10-minute activity. It's called Sell This Item. So each of you are going to be broken into breakout rooms. And in your breakout room, you're going to have to sell an item that is very hard to sell. So let's take a look at the items. We have flavorless gum. We have a scrub with no scent. We have a mic with no sound. And then we have a clock with no hands and a cup with no bottom. So these are pretty tough items to sell to consumers. You all are going to be broken up into groups, and it's going to be your goal to create almost like a pitch or a commercial to sell this particular item to customers. So if you have flavorless gum, how are you going to sell that to a group of high schoolers? A scrub with no scent, how are you going to sell that to the Sephora store? Let's say Sephora is looking for new clientele. How are you going to sell the scrub with no scent to Sephora? A mic with no sound. How are you going to sell the mic with no sound to a newscaster? And I don't think we have a large group today. So we're going to probably split everyone in twos. And the cup with no bottom, you're going to sell that to a group of teachers. And a clock with no hands, you're going to sell that item to a surgeon, to surgeons in a hospital. So are the breakout rooms created?
Can we do that, Key?
Yes, I don't have access to do it.
Sure, sure. How many?
How many people do we have? Wait, 1, 2.
All right, I did 4, and it's gonna put 2 to 3 people in a room. Is that enough? We want to do less
Yep,
rooms?
no, that's fine.
Okay.
So if you're in group 1, you are going to get the flavorless gum if you end up in room 1. If you are in,
name it.
yeah, if you can name each of the rooms, one of the items.
Oh. There'll be 4. Any particular 4? Just random. Fine.
Yeah. Okay. Any questions
2 more to
before you
go.
go into your breakouts? You're going to create a 30-second to a 1-minute pitch.
Okay, rooms are ready.
Selling your hard to
Catherine
sell
raised her
item.
hand.
Okay, so
Quick
you'll get 5 minutes to work together to create like a quick pitch on how you're going to sell this item to your population. So the flavorless gum is high school if that's a breakout room. The scrub with no scent, Sephora, a mic with no sound, a broadcaster, a cup with no bottom, a teacher, and clock with no hands, doctors, a surgeon. Okay? So I will see you all in 7 minutes, and then you are going to pitch your hard to sell item to the group. Nehemiah. So I'm gonna put down I'm gonna put my timer, and you'll get 1 minute to do your thing. All right. So flavorless gum, you are up.
Hello. So who said flavor defines fun? Our flavorless gum is a blank canvas for your imagination.
Do you want a natural mewing face? Do you want a flawless jawline? Try out our favoriteless gum. Work your jaw while doing other meaningless tasks. Think of this less as a gum and more of a workout opportunity.
It's not about tasting what's given, it's about strengthening your jaw and creating your own experience.
It's not about what flavor, it's about what's next and what's strong, which is gonna be your jaw after you use our gum.
All right. Let's give a round of applause. Thank you. Thank you. So now's time for us to give just some helpful and constructive feedback. Love the idea. I like that you gave us so many different uses for your gum. You also didn't use the entire time, so you were able to talk about your product in less than 1 minute. How did it feel? What did the process feel like? Was it easy to come up with your idea?
For me personally, I really hope to have gotten flavorless gum because it was directed towards like high schoolers, and I feel like that was just like a really easy task. Like I feel like everyone is chewing gum, like even after it loses its flavor. So I just thought that was really easy.
So I like that you saw it as a challenge that you can absolutely figure out. Like, although it posed as a challenge, you said, I actually know that there's a lot of people who do this, and you don't need flavor in order to want this product. All right.
The one that came up with the idea of promoting the wellness aspect of it. I just like I saw it as like the opportunity to add the experience part.
Absolutely. And I agree. And I'm so thankful that you thought to do that. And I love the collaboration of it all. The fact that you each took a moment to help each other in the pitch is key, right? Not having to feel like everything is on you. So being able to share, to bounce ideas off of one another, and then come out with a product that you both felt good about, and you also had time to practice. So kudos to you. Now we're gonna move on to the scrub with no scent. If we can have those two cameras on, and then also be mindful, we want to make sure that we see your face when you do your pitch. All right, so
Yeah, and
scrub with
um
no scent.
her her partner dropped, so it'll just be Aurora.
Okay. So I'm gonna set the timer. All right, and go.
Um, Even though scents are delightful, accommodating to everybody in our community and world is important. Unscented scrubs could accommodate to individuals with scent allergies and to allow them to also be able to have a relaxing and exfoliating experience with this product in your stores. Inclusivity is important, and being inclusive to not only people with allergies but people who aren't able to use scents on a day-to-day basis is important. And having items like that, not only including scented scrubs in your stores, is important as well.
Oh, all right. And Aurora did it solo. This is awesome. Kudos to you. Any feedback? I mean, you brought it in with the diversity, inclusivity. You talked about like allergies and people, wanting to accommodate everyone. Awesome. Who else? Someone? And you did it under a minute because now your timer's going off.
I think that's awesome, especially you touched on the allergies and stuff. Like for me, I prefer scentless lotion. I don't I don't want no scents in my lotion. So, but yeah, that was a great job.
Yeah. So again, just in describing your product, you can reach an audience member that really and truly needs that thoughtfulness, right? So there's a lot of things with scents, and there's a lot of people that might have allergies or their body just is reactive. So the fact that you made sure to add that in your pitch, you now gain a customer because they acknowledge and they appreciate the fact that you're thinking about them, right? So that's why it's so important to not be shy about really talking about your product, talking about what you're selling, and really think about the audience member. Okay, thank you so much, Aurora. Now we are moving towards the cup with no bottom. It says cub, but we're gonna put it with a not the bear, but the cup with no bottom. Baby cubs. All right, so if everyone else can turn off their turn off your cameras. I'm gonna pin the two people in the group. Who were you with, Excel?
Layla and Michael.
Okay. I don't think I see. Is it Layla T?
Yes.
Okay. There you go. And if everyone else can have their, okay, awesome. And begin.
Teachers, are you looking for innovative ways to engage your student? Here's the bottomless cup, a unique teaching tool that can spark critical thinking.
The bottomless cup can be used in different ways. For example, in mathematics, our cup can be used to track and document circle sizes and analyze angles. In art, our cup can be used as a tracing tool and to trace circles and other shapes. And due to its flexibility, it can be flattened out and used as a straight edge. Thank you. On to you, Michael.
For advanced mathematics, the cup can be used for examining the difference in diameters and circumference, and for other mathematics exercises, including the pi ratio and other exercising, including circles.
Well, all right. And is there a wrap up?
Yes, so please invest in our product. We hope that our product can change school systems around the world.
Awesome. Under a minute, and that's with me also asking about great job. You all are on it. This group
That
is
was
on
awesome.
it. I love the opener, the beginning. It had that, have you ever, it's really that connection, that commercial, the infomercials when you stay up too late, and then QVC and some of those other things are up there. It had that vibe. I loved it. It was repetitive in that you all used a tone that helped us to really hear what it was that you were selling. And for you to have done it with 3 people, I just felt like there was great collaboration in coming up with your commercial. Anyone else want to give feedback or?
The topic, yeah, you guys went into the mathematics, and you got me when you say you could flatten it for a straight edge. I was sitting here like, oh wow.
I know,
how
I
much this
started
gonna
thinking,
cost?
yeah, I started saying, let me use a cup and see if I could do all those things that they listed. So you intrigued, right? So you sparked curiosity, and curiosity goes a long way as a business owner, because the more curious people are about your product, it lends itself to a behavior of buying. So awesome. Now we are going to end with Mike with no sound. Who's next?
Can I go?
Yes, let me just remove these pins.
Mike with no sound should be Megan Milena
Oh, never mind.
in that group. Were you in that group too?
No, I thought when you said anybody else, meaning like there were no other people, and I didn't get to give in my thing on time, but I'll wait for them to go and then I'll share mine.
Okay.
Could you pin? I don't know who is not lighting up. Who's talking?
Should be Milena and Megan. I got it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna start the pitch.
Mhm.
When the
All
timer is
right.
going.
And action.
Okay. We can't hear you. You should probably speak up. Well, with the mic with no sound, you can practice your vocal projection and get your points across to the whole nation.
Um, typically, when people get handed a mic, they think that they could get their points across with a low voice and to a large crowd. But that is not necessarily true. With the mic with no sound, I guarantee your voice and tone will sound louder and more confident when it comes to public speaking.
Is that it?
Yes.
Okay. Listen, you have 5 minutes. Like, we're not. Good job. Like, I love that, you talked about mic with no sound. How can you use it? Who could use it? Right? And it's just thinking about the customer in a very smart way and not overwhelming them. And sometimes, and look, your alarm is now going off. So you did it within less than a minute. How did you find the process?
So when you
Oh,
so when you first brought up the idea of like trying to sell something that you couldn't sell, I kind of thought of ideas for everything. So I kind of had a plan for all the like objects that you wanted us to sell. And that's how we started. Like I was like, we could pitch like the mic with no sound as like an aid for broadcasters that think that microphones will get their voice, like will hear their voice. Um, but like that's not always the case. So you could practice with the mic with no sound with your projection. You can get your point across, even if there are mishaps with like microphones and you are talking to a big crowd. You don't like with the mic with no sound, you could practice projection so that if you don't have a mic, you can still be heard.
right. So it's that idea of you created a practice product because you know what the product can and cannot do, right?
Yeah.
So again, this is just this entire experience. One, congratulations. Everyone deserves a round of applause. Why? This is hard, right? Putting yourself out there can be tough. It can be very scary, but it's very necessary. And at some point or another, we all are going to have to do some additional public speaking. So this is great that we get to do the practice with one another. And in this environment where you have a bunch of peers who are going through the same thing as you, and you have an amazing group of mentors that you can lean on in S.O.A.R. So again, this is a pitch workshop, but this never stops. Having your village of people who's going to help you, keep you accountable, tell you the little things that you can do to make your pitches better, that's who you want to be around. And that's what this is all about. I'd rather make the mistakes with everyone on this phone than to make it out there in the world, right? So next, we are moving into the next phase, which is learning quick tips before you start working on your personal pitch. So when we think about our business and we think about the essence of what we just did, we literally sold products that can be a little bit more challenging. And you did that in 5 minutes. Now, for the next activity, you're going to really be thinking about, how do I sell my business, my product, my service, my idea? Now, if you could do it for an item that I randomly chose and put on a PowerPoint, imagine how creative you can be with the stuff that you know very well, because you've been in this program for a few weeks now and you've had this idea in your head for probably quite some time. So, who are you? What is your business? What is the problem that you're trying to solve? And the problem could be a positive problem or a negative problem. How does your business solve that problem? Who is your customer? So before you do any pitch, you want to think about the person that you're going to be pitching to. Me, pitching to a group of execs who are just very, structured. They want to get down to the nitty gritty. What's your business plan? I know being too creative might turn them off, right? So it's important that you just know who you're marketing your program to. Make sure to find one qualifier, one way that your business makes you a bit different from your competitors. When we go down the food aisle, there are about 300 brands of bread. Imagine if someone said, "Oh, there's only room for one bread." No. The reason why our supermarkets are being stocked every week with all these different breads is because it sells, which lets us know we can all have very similar ideas, but your bread brand is going to attract a certain type of consumer. Another person might want flatbread. Another person might want this. But guess what? We all are selling the same thing. And so all that to say, it's okay if many of you might have similar ideas, because it's not about the idea, right? It's about what's different and who you're choosing to market your program to. Do you need money? I think some of you said support. What does support look like? How much is your product? And what is the timeline? Right? So you want to make sure that it's 60 seconds and that you basically have at least 2 points. What we're going to do now is everyone is going to take 5 minutes, well, 7 minutes, and you all are going to work on your own personal pitches. And when we come back, everyone on the phone is going to present their pitch. So it's kind of what you did earlier with the hard to sell item, but now you're not going to be selling a hard to sell item. You're going to be selling your either business product, idea, or service. Cool. So we're going to take a 5-minute We're going to take a 5-minute break to work on our pitch. And when we come back, we're going to present that to the group. Our cameras on. Cameras on. That's how I'll know everyone is back. Okay, so we are going to begin. I don't necessarily have an order, so we will start with whomever wants to take the initiative, and we will make our way through the group.
Can I start first?
Sure, is this Aurora? Aurora?
No, it's Jordan.
Jordan, yes.
Okay.
All right.
Have you ever?
Let me put the timer on for you.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, and go. Jordan,
Yeah.
you're good to go.
Okay. Can you restart the timer? My thing kind of froze.
Okay, no problem.
Do I go now?
You're good to go.
Okay. My pitch for my business is called Life of Art. Have you ever hated the thought of a plant or bugs or nature itself? Come to my gallery. We provide food, drinks, and we're open to any gender or color of race. And we are also open to the people who are disabled or have other kind of conditions. We have staff that are professionally trained to help you have a wonderful experience. As long as you're respectful and kind, you will be welcome by any means. Please come.
All right, let's give Jordan a round of applause. All right, any feedback? Oh, and the minute just went off. If we can get one of the mentors to offer feedback.
Great job. I like that you put together, I guess, all those that you were welcoming, right? So speaking towards within the business world, we refer to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So very inclusive uh, place. So that definitely, as Ms. Kiana mentioned earlier, helps people to feel welcome when you are addressing them. Great job on that.
Yeah. So I love the fact that you did emphasize that it was going to be a welcoming and respectful environment, which where we are now, people want to know that they feel safe and seen, right? Another thing that I did like is, you talked about what Life of Art is in terms of as a business, being also having a restaurant portion of it. I would have loved to hear a little bit more about that. In terms of what type of food do you serve? What type of events? So you told us who's welcome, but I would like to hear more about the actual business of the restaurant, right? Or is it more of an art gallery that serves as a restaurant where you can get food?
it's more so of a gallery, but there would be like a compartment scene like on the side where there's a couple of tables, or like there's waitresses or
Okay.
waiters, um or
So it's
just people in general like serving you plates, how you see like in different movies where there's a
yeah,
fancy gala or auction. It would
yes.
be like that.
Okay. So as a coach today, one thing that I would like for you to do in your pitch is talk more about the business, right? So because you spent a lot of time talking about who's welcome, and you also mentioned the restaurant, I didn't get to know about your gallery. So walk me through your gallery. Do you get, even the types of artists that you feature? It might be not known artists so that they can have a platform for their stuff to be sold the same way other people who have a known name. So you see how we're talking more about your business model around your uh like life of art, and just say not only can you experience these events, but you can also eat, right? We also feed you, and you can make it an event, and you can make it joyous. So you're selling the experience. So definitely take notes and speak more on what the experience is for the customer. But thank you so much. Who wants to go next?
I can go.
Okay, great. Excel?
Yeah. Should I start?
You can start.
Okay. Imagine having nowhere to run to or turn to in a disaster or crisis. Are you tired of feeling that unease? Are you tired of looking for where your next meal or shower comes from? Homeless shelter provides secure housing for those in need, a safe place where people can just relax, have fun, and engage. Join us in providing a safe haven for those who need it most.
Oh, all right. This is a quiet group. Can we get some round of applause for your peers? Everyone is putting themselves out there. This is not easy. If you can't talk, then maybe, put emojis or write in the chat. But let's support one another, because this is very, very hard stuff. It might seem easy for some people, but just putting yourself out there is, really, really hard. Um,
And that was great. That was so clear and concise, that it, it just sat well. I was like, oh, okay. And and I believe you ended strong as well.
so I like that you talked about the challenges that people might be experiencing, and how your business will be a solution and also a safe haven for individuals who are dealing with homelessness. You're also talking about, like, you created the picture, you illustrated the picture for us. So in one of the slides, I said, show me what your business is. When you spoke about your words and you gave me descriptions and you used descriptive language, you helped me to envision what a safe haven is going to look like for someone who has been displaced, someone who does not have a home. You also talked about the business with dignity, like, this is what we provide, this is why we provide it. And I heard the purpose. So I definitely know why you're in the business of it. You could hear the care. So thank you so much.
Thank
Excel.
you.
Good job. All right. Next, who wants to go? Aurora. And then we'll
Yeah.
have some more before we close out.
All right. Just let me know.
Yep, you can begin.
Okay. Do you enjoy sweets, treats, and everything in between? If so, come stop by my bakery. My pitch is concerning my business, which would be a bakery and catering business. In this business, I would focus on spreading love and great baked goods for not only my community, but hopefully the nation and then the world. I'd like to focus on baked goods, including cookies, cupcakes, cakes, macarons, croissants, muffins, streusels, and expand into other more adverse foods. In that, I would also love to accommodate to those with gluten allergens because my grandmother has one and I understand the struggles that she goes through, and I want to be able to accommodate to people who have that same allergy. Conclusively, my business is a way for me to be able to spread my tasteful experiences that I could give to the world and convey them through my greatest love and passion in life. That's it.
All right.
Thank you.
Congratulations. How are you feeling?
A little nervous.
A little nervous. It's okay. We all are here. We're all doing it. And the more you do it, the less nervous you'll feel. I always like to say it's good to have some nerves, because when you have nerves, you're very in tune. You're very in the present. You're
Mhm.
not thinking about anything else because you're in the moment. And it actually helps keep you. Most people give their best performances when they're a little nervous before. Anything that's not making you nervous, is it really worth taking the risk? So this is awesome. I love that, you took us through like your passion around the cooking, creating sweets. You made it personal. I love that you brought in the idea around the gluten, to have gluten free, and then you brought in the grandma, so everyone, you either have a grandma, know of a grandmother, have a grandmother figure. Just knowing that you're caring about people's allergies lets me know that your business is thoughtful, right? So, great job. Just for the sake of time, if I can take the last two people.
Can I go?
Yes.
So just start whenever.
Yep. You can
Okay.
go.
Are you human? Do you sometimes get stressed and overwhelmed with event planning? This is exactly why I started my business. It would be an honor to collaborate with you and bring your event dreams to life. Planning your wedding, birthday, or special celebration? With the help of my business, I can connect you with venue agents, food vendors, music services, decor specialists, and more. Let me help you turn your dreams into reality, all at low prices. I thank you for your time, and I hope that you choose us for your special events. Any questions?
All right. Straight to the point. You already have a customer in mind and you want to alleviate that pressure by being their events. So I heard that you were really selling that experience. Catherine, you want to take a shot at your pitch?
Yes, please. So, oh, um, in the world where digital often dominates, there's something uniquely satisfying about the tactile experience of a pen meeting paper. It's a timeless ritual that should be savored, and that's where we come in. Welcome to Classy Creations. I'm Catherine Gutierrez, your guide to this world where stationery meets sophistication. We cater to the tastes of those who appreciate quality and elegance. Our pens and bespoke notebooks are more than just tools, they're a lifestyle statement. They're designed to inspire creativity and elevate and motivate you every day. And our products are a testament to the power of your written word.
All
Discover
right.
our collection online or visit us at our boutique store.
I love that everyone is beginning to use what we talked about, like remembering, how do people contact you? What is the product? How much is it going to be? And I think you were hitting all of those pointers that we had out there. So thank you for just really incorporating some of those elements and really illustrating what your product is doing and how it's different. Anyone else want to go before we close out?
I
Megan
think
has to go
Megan.
last.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're tight on time, so we're just gonna get through them. Anyone else want to go before Megan? All right, so we're gonna end with Megan. And again, I'm gonna give you some lasting words, but Megan, if you could take it away.
Okay. The coronavirus plus the isolation we all went through could have been beneficial to some people, but for the percentage of people who weren't so fortunate during these times, the toll it has on mental health is shocking. Personally, I had a pretty rough time acclimating to the change so quickly. Thankfully, nothing life changing like getting my life uprooted happened. But for those people who weren't as fortunate, they need someone to be there for them. With my psychology background, I invite any and all people to walk into my free clinic and give you a safe space to talk about your problems. I'll also provide information and resources to get you back on your feet. If you find your session to be helpful, you should consider frequent meetings. I'll be there for you when you feel like no one is judgment free.
All right. I love it. I love that you made it a very palatable and real scenario. We all went through COVID. We all were impacted in some way, shape, or form. And just you showing us how your business grew out of the need of everything that was going on. So I want to be respectful of time. I want to thank everyone for participating. I want to thank everyone for being brave enough to share, whether you participated in the first activity or you was brave enough to put yourself out there for your own personal pitch. Next week, it's showtime. This is something that you can do even outside of here to really practice your pitch. Take the time to write it down. Also, edit it down. I did hear a lot of description. You also want to make it sound like you, right? Um, we all get assistance with, writing some of our pitches and coming up with our script. It's important to go back in there and think about how would you say it and what word you would use so that it feels more like you. So I just want everyone to think about writing out their pitch, timing themselves, make sure it's within that 1 minute time frame, and ask yourself, will people know what my product is? Did I give it a name? How am I describing it? Does the audience know what it does? What makes me different from other businesses that might have the same product? And how can they get back to you, or is there a cost associated, right? So everyone will get a copy of at least the list. Thank you all so much. I think Professor J just put the Menti
Yes.
meter. If everyone can click on that and fill that out. I want to thank everyone for just being here with me and hanging out for the last 90 minutes. Good luck. And what's the Star Wars? Go forth.
May the force be with you.
May the force be with you, right? So definitely have fun with this. Your pitch should also feel good. It's your business.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Professor Kiana. Listen, this is it. So basically, you guys did the pitch already, right? So all you're doing now is changing the content out to align with your business idea or to share with us the your guided research. So any questions on that, you can definitely follow up on that. Right now, though, if everyone could click the link in the chat for the Mentimeter, this is the final assessment for the class. So we're going to do the Mentimeter assessment, and then right after the Mentimeter will be the class survey. All right. See, I got 9 folks ready to go here. All right. Is that everybody? 9 folks? Likely should be more, but maybe that's who's left right now. All right. So let's get this party started here. Oh,
I'm going to
all
exit.
right. All right. Thanks, Key.
Thank you all. Bye.
Thanks, Kim.
All right, drop it in here. What is a goal? So this is going over the last 3 courses. right? There you go. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So that's that SMART goal format. Question number 2. All right, when should you begin to save? Wait, you guys are done? That was an easy one, huh? Good job, everybody. By the time I said when, y'all was like, not now, right now. A 3-digit number that is compiled from the information about your borrowing and payment history. Is it credit bureau, or credit score? All right. Oh, sorry. Credit score was the correct answer here. Credit score is that 3-digit number, your credit score. Your credit score depicts if you have good or bad credit, but the credit score is a 3-digit number. All right. Gather and compile information from companies that lend to you to create your credit scores. So which one of these is that? Credit report, credit bureau, credit score? Credit report. So your credit report gathers and compiles that information. Credit bureau, so I'm reading it wrong. The credit bureau is the entity that's gathering and compiling the information that creates your credit score. You could check that by looking at your credit report. Kind of a tricky one. It was close. It was close. I'll give you guys that. What was the recommended budget style? 50, 10, 30, 50, 30, 20, 50, 40, 10. Who's go with the numbers? All right, 50, 30, 20. I mean, if you have a budget at all, you're on the right track, right? Which is one of the things in life that is a guarantee? What is one of the things in life that is a guarantee? Life insurance, medical bills, taxes. Another quick one. Think we all, yep. So taxes, right? You are going to be taxed no matter what. Life insurance is a choice. Medical bills, that's up there. Question 7 of 8, almost there. What is one way to save money on taxes? One way to save money on taxes: owning a business, having a savings account, working a W-2, aka a full-time job. Guess a W-2 could be part-time too, but working for an employer. Yes, owning a business. Remember, when you own a business, you get access to a lot more deductions. Businesses get the most deductions. Questions 8 of 8. Last one. Final chance at points. What is a tax bracket? It's a lot of reading. I'll let you guys read it. What is a tax bracket? Yes. Specific tax rate you will pay on each portion of taxable income. So, yes, it could be from $10,000 a year to 500,000 or more. So they break up the taxes based on how much you make. How long is the elevator pitch supposed to be? Is that everybody? In order to deliver a successful pitch, you don't need to know your audience. Is this true or false? Definitely false, right? All right. I'm guessing by the screen, Megan, you are the magical rhino. I know sometimes it assigns names if you don't get a chance to type your name, or did you choose that name? So I'm gonna grab the survey, drop the survey in the chat.
I
So the
stuck it in the
survey
chat
is
for you, JR.
okay, awesome. Survey is for tonight's class. Go ahead and fill out the survey. After you complete the survey, you are free to go. You could drop a D in the chat when you're done.
Just one quick word of advice and suggestion for your pitches next week. Definitely take heed to what Miss Kiana said, Professor Kiana said during the class today. Also go back if you can and review some of the videos so that you can hone in on some of the information that was covered. Lastly, make sure you're not reading. So today was practice, so you were allowed to read just to sort of get comfortable in the setting, right? But you cannot do that during your pitch. Like your pitch is actually graded. So we just need to make sure that you guys understand when you are pitching that you're practicing enough to know the information because it's yours, right? It's your business, it's your organization, whatever it is that you're doing. You should already know the information well enough, excuse me, to not need a script to take you through it. Okay. So practice, 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 because we can tell if you're reading, and that's something that you definitely don't want to do because it's not allowed during the final pitch. Just wanted to make sure you guys understood that, okay? And we'll put it in the email as well when we send out the reminders to you guys, but just, keep that in mind when you're practicing and just get comfortable with it. Great job tonight, guys. Have a good night.
Thanks, everybody. If you guys have any questions on the business model canvas or value prop, you could ask now, or you could email us if something pops up later.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
I was just wondering about for the canvas, about the pitching. Should we try to connect more to like who we're pitching to, or should we try to sell like the factual like like the statistics behind our product?
Well, what do you mean? Like if you identify the target audience, should you focus on them?
Yeah, like should you focus on like what would the audience want, or like the statistic like the nutrients facts, like for me I'm doing like a little bit of food, like the nutrients facts, like the how much you're providing, like should you focus on that, like the numbers, focus on the want?
I think you want to focus on the want. So you want to focus on your audience. So do they want to know the nutrition facts and calories and all the breakdown? Are they concerned more so about it tastes good, right? So your audience might differ. So I would think about it and choose one. For us, like I'll say that in general, like because overall, as you move forward in life, you might be pitching the same thing to different audiences. And for one audience, you turn up the nutrition facts. For the other audience, you turn up, hey, this tastes really great, hey, or it's packaged really well to be on the go. But overall, right now, it's like your elevator pitch, like what Ms. Rosie was saying, who are you? What is your business? What are you selling? Why should we be interested? How can we follow up with you? Right? Because for this one, you only have that 1 minute, right? In the advanced, you're gonna have way more time to be more thorough. So the advanced is gonna be more like Shark Tank, where you have a presentation, you have a couple minutes as to like now, boom, this is this, this is this, this is this. You can walk us through more detail, but just remember you have 1 minute. So this is kind of short, like introduction. What is it? What is it about? Why should we be interested in it? How do we follow up with you?
All right, got it. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. No problem.
Have a nice night.
Thanks, you too.
Good night.
All right, I'll end the recording.